The Indians were down late to the Rangers, but they got a big blow when it mattered most. Chu with a high drive, deep center. Hamilton out of room on the wall, leaps up, it's gone! Shin-Soo Choo with a 3-run homer. And just like that, the Indians take the lead. David Huff did the rest in a complete game effort and enjoyed his just desserts.
The home run to Michael Young. Oh, baby, here we go. I'm not going to say anything, but your buddy got you against the Lewis.
Tonight, the Tribe gets its second look at the White Sox, and we've got all the action next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball as the Tribe welcomes in the Chicago White Sox. Hi, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe got a big win yesterday, stopping that 5-game losing streak, and thanks to Shin-Soo Choo, who is really heating things up now on a 4-game hitting streak.
Well, without a doubt, the best hitter for the Tribe right now. And Shin-Soo Choo took advantage of a couple errors prior to him stepping in the batter's box, picked on a breaking ball. It is third home run, just getting over the line, and that's all the Indians needed to break that string. And he has been the hottest Indian hitter. You can see in the last 4 games, 8 for 13. He's reached base 10 out of his last 13 times with a couple of walks in there, and hopefully he can remain hot for the Indians offense.
Yeah, because Chu was only 2 for 12 against the White Sox in that first series of the season, even though the Indians out-hit the White Sox over those 3 games 25-14, in spite of the fact that Mark Burley had 3-hit shutout baseball over 7 innings on opening day against the Tribe.
Well, speaking of Mark Burley, he was pitched a gem. He had everything work, and the changeup was a very good pitch. He was riding the fastball upstairs. One of the best plays you're going to see all year. You can see Lou Marson. He just flipped it between his legs, and Burley is starting the year very well, 2-0. But the key to getting Mark Burley, you better get him in the first 3 innings, because after that he settles down and he doesn't give up very many hits. So Burley will be matched up against Mitch Talbot, who survived the knockout punch to give the Indians 5 innings in his first start. He's going to need a little better control this evening to beat the White Sox.
Now, almost the exact opposite of what you're saying about Burley. Talbot's got to try to get through those first few innings unscathed here tonight. Well, the rain is gone. Looks like a beautiful night for baseball. We'll have all the action coming up next. Well, back here at Progressive Field, thinking back, Rick, maybe 3 hours ago, didn't look like we'd be playing baseball today. It was pouring down rain sideways. But that storm moved through the area. The sun has come out. It's breezy. It'll be 58 degrees at game time with a 23-mile-an-hour wind blowing from the left field foul pole toward the right center field area here at Progressive Field as Mitch Talbot makes his warm-up tosses. And we'll take a look at Ozzie Guillen's starting 9 for the Chicago White Sox. Juan Pierre will lead it off. He's in left field. And it's Gordon Beckham, followed by Carlos Quentin. Paul Konerko had a big series against the Indians, has not done much since then. Mark Kotze will DH and hit 5th. Alex Rios bats 6th. Then it's A.J. Pierzynski, followed by Alexi Ramirez and Mark Teahan.
Tonight's starting pitcher brought to you by the Indians Team Shops, where you'll get 2 free Tribe tickets when you spend $50. Mitch Talbot making his second start for the Tribe. His first one, it was really rough in the first couple of innings, but he was able to settle down, get out of the 4th and the 5th inning, and, keep it a close ball game. Gave up a first inning home run to Maglio Ordonez, and control was his issue back there. You can see the 5 walks in his 5 innings. So key for him tonight is to throw strikes. Let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense Indians defensive lineup. In the outfield, Kern, Sizemore, and Chu left to right. On the infield, it's Peralta, Cabrera, Valbuena, Laporta, third to first. Behind the plate, Lou Marson catching Mitch Talbot. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
The umpiring crew tonight, Mike Winters will call the balls and strikes. Hunter Wendelstadt is at first base. Dan Bellino at second, and Jerry Lane down at third. Juan Pierre steps in, all ready to get us underway here tonight. And Mitch Talbot delivers a first pitch strike. Juan Pierre comes in batting a $194 on the year. Pierre was 2 for 12 against the Indians in that 3-game series to open the year at U.S. Cellular Field.
That first day, you remember it was beautiful opening day, like it was here yesterday, and then they had a couple of night games that really cooled down. There wasn't a lot of offense anywhere.
Off the glove of Talbot, and that's going to allow Pierre to beat it out. If he doesn't touch that, they might have had a better chance to get him. But he slowed it down and really deadened the ball, and he'll get an infield hit.
That's what happens so many times. It's just reaction when you're a pitcher on the mound. You have to go for it. You think, I've got to catch it. I don't know if they would have been able to get him if he doesn't, but slowing it down certainly made it sure that they were not going to get him, because Pierre still runs well enough to get down the line. So he will start it out with an infield single, and he has 3 stolen bases this year and yet to be caught.
He's running on the first pitch. Marson's throw to second, and they got him.
Beautiful. He wasted no time.
Dribble Cabrera applying the tag, and Pierre is erased for out number 1.
Well, Lou Marson got rid of it in a hurry. Made a nice, strong throw, and Juan Pierre wasted no time. First pitch, off and running. That's something when you've never seen a guy before and you're just going on first movement or the very first pitch. But a good throw by Marson. You see Cabrera comes over and makes a nice tag.
Gordon Beckham, of course, promptly singles to center field.
Doesn't it always happen that way?
So 1 on and 1 out now for Carlos Quentin.
Look, location, middle of the plate. He's going to have to locate that breaking ball down and away. He got a little too much of the plate. That enabled Beckham to find a hole up the middle. Boy, you can see that wind down on the field really whipping. You can see the pant legs of the players. It looks like it's blowing out to right in the outfield, but it looks like it's blowing the other way down on the field level.
Well, the way it's coming in from that left field foul pole, Rick, it's probably hitting the upper deck in right field, and it will give you a little bit of a swirl effect. Talbot with the 0-1 pitch, and he missed inside to even the count.
Quentin, a guy that hit a grand slam in Toronto when they had a big offensive explosion against the Blue Jays the night after they were almost no hit. White Sox leading the league in home runs with 15 as a team.
And they've only given up 4. That's the best differential in the American League.
Well, we know they're a team that have always been big power guys, but that was their problem last year. There was always a long ball, and they had a tough time stringing together innings and having big innings.
Bouncing ball to third. Peralta to second for one. Valbuena
nice.
Relay in time as Laporta able to hold on to the bag to complete the out. Double play ends the inning. Indians coming to bat with Shin-Soo Choo. No score with the Tribe coming to bat here, bottom of the first inning. Manny Acta's starting lineup looks like this: is Drupal Cabrera, then Grady Sizemore and Shin-Soo Choo. Right-handed hitting Peralta bats cleanup, then Hafner, followed by Laporta and Kearns, Valbuena, and then Lou Marson. And as Drupal Cabrera looks at a first pitch strike. Interesting in that Manny Acta juggling the lineup here tonight, as opposed to the lineup he ran out there against Burley on opening day. Cabrera grounds out one away, putting Johnny Peralta into the cleanup spot, so he breaks up the left-handed hitters, dropping Hafner down to the 5-hole. And then with Laporta and Kearns right-handed hitters, you've got Valbuena batting eighth. So he wants to do as much as he can, I guess, to try and break up the left-handed heavy lineup that he has.
Burley has won his first two starts. Of course, he shut us out, but if you're going to get Mark Burley, you better get him in the first 3 innings, because this year he's got a .391 batting average against in the first 3 innings. After that, from 4 through 8, he settles down just 2 for 28. So once he gets in his rhythm and his groove, he really settles in. He had an outstanding changeup in his last start against the Tribe.
Grady smacks one left center, but it's not going anywhere as Rios, the center fielder, for some reason dropped to a knee to make the catch. 2 down. Here's our great clip of the game from yesterday. Relax, you're at Great Clips, and after that home run, it was easy for Tribe fans to relax a little bit, giving them their first lead of the day, and they would hold on to win it 3-2.
Well, it seems like their first lead of the year, because they haven't had many, but that was a huge swing. They were able to hold on.
Two balls, no strikes. Burley works in a hurry and a little bit too high, 3-0. That's ball 4. So
that's
after
a rarity.
Retiring the first 2 in a row, he walks Choo on 4 straight pitches. This month, we're giving away a free HD TV courtesy of STO, WTAM, and HH Gregg when the Indians go deep
And our first contestant today is Linda Yamamoto of Cleveland. Log on to STOHD.com right now and register to win. And, of course, for a second chance to win, you can listen to Wills and Snyder tomorrow morning on News Radio, WTAM 1100 at 7:11 a.m. Actually, make that Monday morning. We'll tune into Wills and Snyder on Monday morning at 7:11 a.m. Back with the dive is Shin-Soo Choo, who does have 3 steals to lead the Indians this year. Sandy Alomar coaching at first, in charge of making sure those runners get back when Burley fires over to first, and he's got a very good move. Peralta smacks it foul and cracked the bat.
Well, 67 pickoffs in his career. So, yeah, you don't stray off first too much when Burley's on the mound. You just sort of take that little league lead and just stay there where you're not going back every time. Get a lead that you're comfortable with and stay there. Unless, if you go, you got to guess on him. That's all. You're not going to pick up anything in his move. And hopefully you guess right. Well, they figured now that, 0-2 to try and protect Peralta, maybe Choo would take off. That's why they threw to first base. Yes, he did. Oh.
They appeal. He went too far. And the inning is over. So Peralta strikes out. And no score after an inning of play here in Cleveland. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. By Continental Airlines, a proud sponsor of the Cleveland Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. And your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Well, with that strong breeze blowing in here tonight, it's dropped the temperature considerably. Paul Konerko will lead it off for Chicago and looks at a ball low and away.
I look at it this way, man. It's dry. It's clear. So, we can battle the temperatures.
So you bring a blanket.
You can battle the temperatures.
No 1-0. Outside. Swung on and missed. 2-1.
This is the guy that was the best hitter for the White Sox when we opened up in Chicago. for the first at least 2 games.
There's another long drive, deep left field, and gone. Boy, you pitched to Paul Konerko.
Well, a 2-1 count. And you know what? He left it look like a changeup right there for Konerko to mash, and he did just that. Konerko's had a good career against the Indians, so he will give the White Sox a 1-0 lead.
Well, you talked about it in the very outset of our telecast tonight. You know, it's a guy you got to think about working around.
I would.
Make somebody else in that lineup beat you.
Check where the location. It's a count in his favor. And I mean, hitters look for pitches middle in 2-1, 3-1 counts where they can really cheat on you and try and hit one out, and he just helped him out. Looks like he sped up the bat as well, left it middle of the plate. So Konerko hits his 4th homer. Second straight game that Talbot has given up a homer. One was in the first inning in Detroit. This one here to lead off the second.
Caught the outside corner. Mark Kotze, the White Sox DH, 0 for 5 against the Indians in that first series. 3 balls and a strike. Bang that one off of his own foot, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Talbot's payoff pitch. And Kotze bangs it foul right back toward the on-deck circle. And now Lou Marson calls for time on this 3-2 situation. Wants to go out and talk it over. 18 pitches thus far for Mitch Talbot. Just underway here in the second inning of action. Got a double play ball to get out of the first after giving up a pair of hits. Also benefited from a caught stealing. Now again the 3-2. And Kotze pops it in the air. Peralta straddling the line. In fair ground to make the catch. That's out number 1. Today's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Friedman, Damiano & Smith. When you're injured, depend on them. Find Friedman, Damiano & Smith online at fdslaw.com. Alex Rios will lead off, or will bat here with 1 out. Inning number 2. And Mitch Talbot gets it over for a first pitch strike. High pop. Shallow left. Cabrera, the shortstop, going out. He'll call for it. Hey, look at it.
That thing had to move 15, 20 feet toward center field. Well, it's Green Awareness Day tomorrow at the ballpark when the White Sox are here. That ball game will start at 4:10. You can learn how to be more eco-friendly with activities from our green partners, including the Earth Day Coalition. All fans receive an Indians cap made completely out of recycled bottle caps, and it's a nice one right there. That'll be tomorrow afternoon.
A.J. Pierzynski takes ball 1. Pierzynski batting just .226. He went 3 for 12 against the Indians in that opening series in Chicago. Big bouncer to first. Laporta knocks it down, has plenty of time, and flips to Talbot to end the inning. But the solo homer by Paul Konerko, his third of the year against the Tribe, has the White Sox in front early. One zip, White Sox on top. Bottom of the second inning, Travis Hafner, Matt Laporta, and Austin Kearns. Hafner swings and might have caught a piece of it. 0-1 the count. Bronk batting .250, a homer, 3 runs batted in. And Hafner pops it foul, and this should find the seats.
I know.
But you don't know for sure tonight.
Well, anytime you see a ball go down that way, you're right. You keep an eye on it because it'll have a tendency to blow back in from the third base line toward the field.
I mean, that ball that Peralta caught straddling the line, normally that ball's in the seats, but it just looks like it was coming back.
That's something you have to be aware of.
Burley with the 0-2. Low and away. Big bouncing ball in the hole. Oh, what a diving stop by Beckham, and he throws him out.
That is a terrific play.
Boy, a sensational effort by Gordon Beckham to take a surefire hit away from Hafner.
You know, it was weird because they were playing him over to pull, and once I saw that ball, I thought Konerko was going to catch it. But he took 2 steps and then just started going right to first base, and Beckham goes in that hole into right center field, makes a terrific play. Look at the range. That's why they wanted to move him to the center of the field, because of that range right there. Takes a hit away from Travis Hafner. Nice play.
With Konerko pulling off that quickly, does that tell you that Beckham signaled him, like, I've got it? Or he just instinctively knew that Beckham could have a better chance to get to it?
He knew he couldn't catch it. So as soon as he took his 2 steps and realized he wasn't going to get it, he broke to first base. And he's understanding the kind of range that Beckham has is what he's going to learn. He doesn't know it yet because Beckham hasn't played second a whole long time. But I'll tell you, that was a beautiful play.
Matt Laporta 4 for 11 in that first series against the White Sox.
Here's an angle you can look at. Look at, he realized, I can't catch it, let me go to first. And that ball just stayed up enough for Beckham. It couldn't get a lot on the throw, but really nice play. And if you're the hitter, you're thinking, hey, man, don't be afraid to let it go.
Three balls, 2 strikes the count on Laporta. Well, Konerko's played first base long enough to know what he can and what he cannot
well,
get
he's not
to.
an excellent first baseman by any means, but he gets the job done, and his range is limited.
Laporta strikes out. Bat went into the seats. Oh, boy, look out down below.
That bat just skidded off the top of the dugout. That is not good.
Well, it sure did. Right over the top of the on-deck circle.
Went right over. Yeah, that is not good. That'll go down as a strikeout for Laporta. Second strikeout for Burley.
Everybody focusing their attention on the fan right behind the Indians' dugout.
About 5 rows up. That thing just deflected off the top of the dugout. Too bad.
So now Austin Kearns steps in. And a slow chopper hit to third. T an off balance throw just in time. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 2 complete from Progressive Field. It's Chicago 1, Cleveland nothing. It's a 1-0 White Sox lead as we go to the third inning here at Progressive Field. Folks enjoying a little late supper here at the ballpark. Alexei Ramirez leading off, goes after that first pitch and sends a towering fly ball into left field. Austin Kearns will grab it. One quick out. I'm going to bring up Mark Teahan. Well, and good news, that fan is up on his own feet and heading for some medical attention. Gets a nice round of applause from the folks.
Yeah, that is good to see. That is great to see.
Well, 70 years ago today, little baseball history. Thanks to the gentleman who has joined us now here in the booth, the only opening day no-hitter in Major League Baseball history, authored by our very own Rapid Robert Bob Feller, who joins us now, and that came in Chicago against these White Sox. How are you, partner?
Well, feel pretty good, and Marguerite, my sister and I were there opening day in Chicago this year. We were probably only 2 people that saw that ball game and still alive. But it was the cold, windy Norway gray day, and there's a lot of luck in a no-hitter, and I had plenty of luck that day.
Well, we celebrated it in Chicago with you as well. The Chicago Baseball Museum had a nice luncheon for you the day. We got to meet your sister, Marguerite, and that must be quite an honor to celebrate it. 70 years from the day that you really did pitch the only no-hitter. I mean, that's got to be an honor in itself.
Well, someday probably somebody will do it again, but nowadays with the pitch count and the pitcher not going more than 6 or 7 innings opening day, it may be some time, but at least I hope nobody does it until I'm still alive.
They won't do it. Your scare came back here when the stadium opened in 1994 with Randy Johnson. But we've got a few flashbacks from here. There you go, April 16th, 1940.
That's Cy Slutnik there at the tractor on the farm in Iowa. My scouts assigned me. Is
that warming up before the ball game?
You told me you used to warm up right in front of the dugout back in those days, right?
Yes, oh, yes. All the pitchers used to warm up right in front of the dugout, and that was part of the show. Now I have all the sponsors hanging around the dugout with all the news media, and the pitchers are out in outer Mongolia warming up.
Well, that's funny you say. You're right. You're right out in front of the dugout. That's the show. That's part of the show. So it was putting on a show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's very true. That was a great play at shortstop.
Speaking of putting on a show, is Drupal Cabrera. Sensational play.
That was an excellent play. But
we'll continue. We'll continue with you right after we take this timeout. White Sox go 1-2-3. Back here at Progressive Field, going to the bottom of the third inning. White Sox with a 1-0 lead. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, and happy to be with Bob Feller this inning here in the booth. And for fans who don't know, Bob is 91 years old, and I get tired just listening to the schedule that you keep. And where were you early this morning?
Well, we were in Mobile, Alabama. I caught this 6:30 plane and the Houston back up here. I wanted to be here for this ball game, and I was on the Battleship Alabama last night for dinner with Lou Michael, and the night before we were at the ballpark in Mobile, the Bears ballpark, dedicating the museum of Hank Aaron's museum. His house is now at the ballpark, and it is the museum, and we had a great time there with the commissioner. But the Alabama is in good condition, and I'm glad to be back in town and going to get back to see Felix. And
back in Gates Mills.
I got to get home and see Ann. I haven't seen Ann for several days.
I know, reintroduce yourself. But you served time on the Alabama, and your goal was to get the commissioner aboard the Alabama to see what a real fighting ship was like, wasn't it?
Well, the Alabama's battleship is a very complicated machine, just like the carrier. And it's in good shape there in Mobile, and they have a very good ball club. Mobile used to be a Cleveland Indian Farm Club many years ago. We played many a game there against the New York Giants when they trained in Baton Rouge and we were in New Orleans. Got a good ball game going here, 1-0, and Brody is a very good left-hand pitcher.
Well, he's the guy we had to deal with on opening day in Chicago.
Oh, he shut us out that day.
Yes, he did. I figured this is our turn to maybe try and get him back.
Well, Luis Valbuena grounds out, one away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Lou Marson, batting ninth today.
I'm surprised to see Perota batting in the cleanup position tonight with Hafner hitting fifth.
Well, I think what Maniac want to do is separate some of the left-handers instead of hitting 3 consecutive left-handers, maybe break it up a little bit.
That's true because the Indians have so many left-hand hitters, and this fellow's a pretty good left-hand pitcher, and he's giving us trouble.
Well, I'll tell you, when you were out of town yesterday, you missed really a well-pitched ball game by David Huff. Complete game. He finished it now, mind you, and it was 2 hours and 3 minutes.
What happened to the commercials?
We had to cut them out. I'll tell you what, you don't see that much anymore. You're right.
He only needs 35 more this year to equal your mark.
Yeah, complete games. That's right, back in 1946.
That's right. I'm glad you got a memory. You can remember that.
Yes, I do. I remember.
You weren't even born yet, Rick.
That's all right, but I remember you had 36 complete games.
Well, Lou Marson gets a base hit, and with a 1 out, the Indians have a base runner now with Asdrubal Cabrera coming to the plate. Speaking of Bob's opening day no-hitter in Chicago, of course, he's the Indians' all-time leader in victories, strikeouts, and 12 one-hitters.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. 12 one-hitters right there. That's, as you say, Bob, they're lucky. No-hitters are lucky.
Oh, well, you never think about a no-hitter until you get into 2 men out in the 8th inning, but some of my one-hitters are probably just as well pitched. My best no-hit game was one in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, right.
I had much better stuff in 1946 in Yankee Stadium when we won the game 1-0 on my catcher Frankie Hayes' home run. But the one in Chicago was won by a triple by my catcher Raleigh Hemsley over my roommate Jeff Heath.
Now, in all your 3 no-hitters, were there great plays made or very good plays made in every game? Or, which one did you have? Any you just breezed right through?
The last play of the ball game, and tapped right, hit a hard ground ball between Trotsky and Ray Mack. Ray Mack made a dive for it, knocked it down, picked it up barehanded, and threw it to Trotsky at first. It was pretty much of a bang play at first base. It was pretty close. Wright was a very good hitter. The other two no hitters, there were no sensational plays. I just lucked in and. They were hitting the ball right at the fielders.
Well, there's a bullet by Cabrera into center field. Marson stops at second. And the Indians have back-to-back hits off Burley here in the 3rd with 1 out.
Because normally when you get out there and you see a no-hitter, I've been involved in 3 no-hitters in my career. As you're going to watch Cabrera go right back. That's a good approach off the left-hander. Don't try and pull him. He was the big part of the field, and he was able to drill it by Burley.
Well, didn't you make the last out in the perfect game?
Yeah, I caught
Len Barker's perfect game. You made the final out, and I heard that ball game in Toronto. It was a Toronto ball club, and the Toronto announcers were very complimentary to Lenny Barker when he pitched that.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he had a perfect game. Is that's amazing in itself. And Mark Burley, the pitcher out there, he has a perfect game. As a matter of fact, it came last year, and there's been like 8 perfect games since Lenny Barker's back in '81.
Slow chopper to second. They'll take the sure out at first to get Sizemore. 2 down. Marson to 3rd. Cabrera to 2nd. And that's going to bring up yesterday's hero, Shin-Soo Choo, who hit the 3-run homer to propel the Indians to the 3-2 win over the Texas Rangers. Bob, you're here at Progressive Field almost nightly. I know you have commitments and you travel, but you're here a lot. You come and you watch a lot of baseball. You're still a baseball fan. I've learned from Rick that former players see a different game than most of us. What do you watch specifically when you come to the ballpark? What do you focus on?
Well, I focus on the pitcher staying ahead of the hitter, throwing strikes mainly, and then I saw something last night I haven't seen in a long time. The Birmingham Ball Club was playing the Mobile Bears last night. Every player on that team had their pant legs rolled up to their knees like we used to, because that's, I think that's a rule in the Diamondbacks organization, which is very unusual. Of course, now they all look like they wear their pajamas to the ballpark.
Yeah, that is different. You're right. I mean, that's totally changed in the style of the game.
But I watch the pitchers to see if they stay ahead of the hitters, and the kind of a pitcher I've been wanting on my ball club, a pitcher that can hold a one-run lead through the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Anybody can pitch when you're behind. But if you're going to hold a pitcher can hold a one-run lead for 3 innings, last 3 innings of the ball game, That's the kind of a pitcher I want on my team.
Exactly, but now they turn them into closers. It used to be a starter when you played, but now they turn them into setup men and closers.
Even my grandson Daniel started out as a starting pitcher in college, and now he's a freshman in college, and he's a closer already.
That's right. Before it used to be, if you came out of the bullpen, you weren't good enough to be in the starting rotation, right?
If you were in the bullpen years ago when I was a player, the next stop was the minor leagues.
Right, that's right.
Or you're gone.
And back then, of course, you guys used to pitch you'd have a 9 or a 10-man staff, and you played 154 ball games. But you'd have every, Monday off, was it? Because you'd play doubleheaders on Sunday?
And holidays, yes. That's right, Rick.
Well, the Indians fail to score here in the third. Bob, always great to visit with you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, Matt. Good to be with you, gentlemen.
70 years ago today,
Thanks,
Bob Feller authored baseball's only open. All right, leading off the fourth inning now for Chicago's Gordon Beckham. He had a single his first time up. Mitch Talbot delivers, and Beckham fouls it straight back. Foul to right back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little bit too high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Time is called. White Sox only run came in the second on a solo homer by who else? Paul Konerko. Konerko only has 3 hits against the Indians this year, and all 3 of them have left the yard.
Yes, indeed. Well, he is very capable. He's got that good approach. It seems like, after the Indians left, he hasn't gotten many hits.
Behind the bag, fielded by Peralta. Long throw, and Laporta digs it out nicely on the back end. 1 down.
Matt Laporta's made a couple of nice picks this year. It seems like he's getting better and better. This one, Johnny had to put a little air under it because it was a much longer throw. It didn't get there, but not quite the in-between hop. It was a little short hop for him. Talbot happy, and anytime you can retire the leadoff man, that's a good thing. So a nice pick by Matt Laporta.
Suddenly, Talbot has retired 7 in a row, and Carlos Quentin looks at a ball up high. He grounded into the inning-ending double play back in the first. Two balls, no strikes. Quentin, couple of homers, 10 RBIs on the year. Big bouncer to short as Dribble Cabrera sets and throws 2 away. Boy, Mitch Talbot is getting some balls beat into the ground here.
Well, the 2010 Flex Plan gets you tickets to 20 Tribe games of your choice. It guarantees your tickets to the games you want to see. Plus, you get season ticket holder benefits, including discounted prices in prime seat locations. Call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com.
2 outs here in the fourth. 7 ground ball outs tonight, courtesy of Mitch Talbot. This time, Konerko sends Sizemore back in center field, and he's got it. 1, 2, 3 go the White Sox. Talbot settling in. He's set down 9 in a row. It's 1-0 Chicago. One 1-0 Chicago. Bottom of the fourth inning. Johnny Peralta will lead it off. Then it's Hafner and Laporta. Mark Burley delivers high, ball 1. Indians had a chance to get something going in the third with back-to-back singles off Burley, but he retired Sizemore and Shoes successively to end the inning.
Now, this is usually the time of game where he really settles in. At least he has in the first 2 starts of the year. If you don't get him in the first 3 innings, as I told you, at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, hitters 2 for 28 against him this year. There's a happy youngster right there. Got a little foul ball. Boy, that's going to make his year. Boy, that's something. You know what? He'll never forget that the rest of his life. Go to a ball game and I got a baseball. Foul ball. And he'll remember who hit it. Maybe.
I wonder if Burley's success through the middle and later innings has more to do with the hitters growing impatient against him, or if it's something he's doing.
Well, he's one of those guys. If he gets ahead of you, he just expands your strike zone. He tries to get strike 1 and then works out off the plate. As a hitter, you would like to get in a hitter's count and not give in to him, and then you can get a little more selective on the pitches you want to swing at. But, you know, he just works that way.
Johnny Peralta draws a walk to lead it off, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight.
Let's check out that White Sox defense for you behind Burley this evening. Pierre, Rios, and Quinton in the outfield. On the infield, it's Tien, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko, with A.J. Brzezinski behind the plate.
Cronk grounded out to second his first time up, but it was a tremendous play made by Gordon Beckham. Otherwise, Hafner would have had a leadoff single in that second inning. Takes a strike. Gordon Beckham dove into the hole between first and second on the outfield grass, and then quickly got to his feet to throw out Hafner. Low and away, ball and a strike. The count on Hafner. Called a strike. Travis doesn't like it. He's down on the count 1-2. Cronk with a hit now in 6 of his last 7 games. He's reached base safely in all 9 leading into tonight. And Peralta, who does have 1 steal on the year, representing the tying run at first base here in the 4th. That's going to stay foul up the third base side.
You know, the thing about Burley, too, I mean, rarely does he get behind, Matt, when you talk about 2-0 counts. In his first 2 starts, and that's coming against the Indians in Minnesota, he had 1 2-0 start. He already has 3 2-0 counts tonight. And they have a single and 2 walks, so they've reached base every time they've gotten to a 2-0 count.
Well, Hafner strikes out 3 punch-outs now for Mark Burley. 1 down here in the 4th. Time now to get a look at our Subway fresh face of the game. And down on the farm, it's Chris Jimenez, who yesterday went 2 for 4, already hit his 3rd home run at the walk-off homer Tuesday against Indianapolis. Matt Laporta struck out his first time up and looks at strike 1 from Mark Burley here. Bounced it in there, and that's going to get away from Brzezinski, enabling Peralta to move into scoring position on the wild pitch from Mark Burley.
Well, that takes the double play away, and it puts a man in scoring position. Those are the little things that you have to take advantage of when you're facing Burley. Guy moves up. You can see that ball out in front of the plate. Brzezinski could not keep it in front of him. So Peralta gets himself in scoring position. And the arms you can run on in the White Sox outfield. Rios with the best in center. Pierre, you're going to run. They're going to test his arm in left. And
there's a high drive right center. Quinton backpedaling. And a right fielder makes the catch. Peralta will tag and move up to third base, but now there are 2 down. Time now for our first in-game update. Let's go back to the studios. Here's Al Pawlowski.
Matt Rick, Vernon Wells is on a tear to begin this season. Here against the Angels in the 2nd inning tonight, he launches his 6th homer of the year. That ties him with Nelson Cruz for the Major League lead. L.A. and Toronto, even at 1, they're in the 4th inning in Canada. Back to you.
All right, so here's Austin Kearns, who grounded to third his first time up, but that tying run just 90 feet away for the Indians now. And Kearns base hit into left field. That'll plate Peralta, and we are tied at 1. Austin's first run batted in as an Indian.
Yeah, comes with 2 outs. Run number 18 by the Tribe scored with 2 outs. out of their 30 runs. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You got to love a 2-out base hit. That was a little cutter trying to come down and in. I don't think he really located it exactly where he wanted it. Kearns makes him pay. We'll tie the score at 1.
Quick throw over, and Kearns just does get back in time. You could hear Sandy Alomar from our field mic yelling back, back, back. But Burley's move can sometimes just freeze a runner. There's the stat Rick was just referring to. 60% of the Indians' runs have come with 2 men out this year.
Well, they haven't had big explosions, and they've gotten some key hits. I mean, to remain in games. There you go.
Valbuena with a drive deep to right. Quinton chasing back, and it's gone to Souvenir City. Luis Valbuena with his second home run of the year makes it a 3-1 Indians lead.
You can add to that stat of 60%. And there's 2 more coming right here. For Valbuena, his second home run on the year, his 5th and 6th RBI. And he got a good piece of that ball. Watch this. Good wood. That's where Burley made a mistake. Left it middle of the plate, and Valbuena made him pay. And the Indians take a 3-1 lead.
Boy, you're watching that replay that we just showed you there. That looked, Rick, like textbook. If you wanted to teach somebody, you get a pitch to handle and you want to hit it a long way. That was right there, and Valbuena did not miss it.
Well, that's the key. You don't miss him. You don't get under it. You don't pop it up. He put a nice short swing on it, and the mistake was it. And we witnessed last year he has pretty good power. I mean, when he stays back, he's a strong guy, not a big guy. But when he hits it, the ball jumps off his bat.
Marson, a slow tapper to short. Alexei Ramirez, low throw. Konerko backhanding it. Inning over. Indians get a 3 spot off Burley thanks to the 2-out, 2-run thunder by Valbuena. Ice. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Key Bank. Stop into your nearest Key Bank. Start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Panini's Bar and Grills are expanding. Visit paninisgrill.com for a list of new locations opening this year. That's a beautiful shot here in downtown Cleveland. It's a 3-1 Indians lead now. Mitch Talbot working with a lead for the first time this year, and we'll see how he responds. I thought Bob's comments, Bob Feller, who was with us earlier, I thought his comments were interesting, Rick, and that he goes, I want to see a pitcher who can hold a one-run lead from the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Well, of course, that doesn't happen very often because of the bullpens, but I like his thought process in that he says anybody can pitch when they're behind.
And he's right. You know, maybe the concentration isn't there, but, I mean, I'm sure he's been in that situation 100 times where, you know, it's your game, boy. You're not coming out, and that teaches you, you know, how to succeed. And you're right. It doesn't happen a lot anymore.
It tells
nor
you
do they
something
let it.
About the mental part of the game, too. I mean, pitching with the lead, all of a sudden, if you let that pressure thought creep into there, oh, boy, I can't give up the lead. If you let that start to creep into your mind, all of a sudden bad things can happen.
Well, it builds character. That's
swung on and missed. Talbot blows away Kotze, 1 down here in the 5th. All right, let's take a look at our GMC 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And our 5-star American League RBI League leaders shows that Carlos Quentin is right there among the top with 10. Alex Rios smashes it to 3rd. Peralta with a good strong throw, 2 down. Well, don't forget, folks, we're in the home stretch for the 2010 census, and it's not too late. All you have to do, fill out your census form, mail it back today. There have been a lot of folks, I don't know if you'd call them activists, but certainly community activists who've been out, you know, making sure all their neighbors are filling it out and getting them to the post office.
What should be, I would think they would be done by now. They've been doing that for quite some time.
I think we're wrapping it up. A.J. Pierzynski looks at a strike outside corner, 1-1 the count. Pierzynski bounced out to first, his first time up in the 2nd inning. Good pitch in for a strike in the count, 1-2. Mitch Talbot has made 50 pitches so far tonight. He made 39 in the 1st inning in Detroit in his first start of the year.
Well, and nerves and, you know, that first start of the year certainly had to have something to do with it. He looks like a different guy tonight, a little more relaxed, a little slower.
Breaking ball bounced foul.
I want to send along birthday wishes, a very happy birthday wish to Alana Botto, who works right up here with Emily up in the suites. So, Alana, happy birthday to you.
Now the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera. Got him. 12 in a row set down by Mitch Talbot. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 3-1 Cleveland. 3-1. Indians lead it, bottom of the 5th inning. As Dribble Cabrera, Grady Sizemore, Shin Soo Choo taking their hacks against Mark Burley. Cabrera singled his last time up. Fouled away, and that'll find the club seat section down the right side. There's a high pop, deep to left. Pierre back. Called off by Rios.
Because the ball's blowing toward him. That was a good play.
It's almost like, Rick, balls hit the left. They start out looking like they got a chance to maybe do some damage, and then it just hits a wall.
Yeah, it was funny because I was watching Pierre's feet, and they
He
were
took
moving
off.
in a hurry,
Yeah.
you know. Much easier play for Rios.
Now Grady Sizemore 0 for 2 tonight. Burley misses up high for ball 1. Grady trying to bunt his way aboard, but can't keep it fair.
Well, if that's fair, it would have been an automatic hit, without a doubt.
You know, that's a thing, too. With his speed, he doesn't have to make a perfect bunt, does he?
No, but I'll tell you what, when you're a hitter and you're in a count like this and you have no strikes, you would try to make the perfect bunt, because if they come in and get it, you don't want to make it out. Let me put it that way. And then if you foul it off, then you still have a 1 strike. So
I
you
see
come
what you're
back
saying,
up and you
yeah.
can still hit. So you, as a hitter, you try and make it perfect early in the count.
That way, worst case scenario, it's a foul ball.
Yeah, it's a
and
foul
you're still
ball
alive.
and you get to swing again.
Rolls it to first. And Sizemore 0 for 3 tonight, 2 down. Well, thanks to that home run by Luis Valbuena, we add some more money to the Gathering Place till. And every time the Indians homer this year, our friends at Great Clips donate $50 for every Indians homer. Rick and I are pitching in $5 each. $420 donated to date. You can log on to touchbycancer.org and make a donation yourself. Shin Soo Choo lifts one foul and out of play. And speaking of home runs, that homer by Valbuena in the 4th made a winner of Linde Yamamoto of Cleveland. She won a free HD TV.
Good for her.
Courtesy of H.H. Gregg, STO, WTAM. And now John McNamara of Parma will win a free HD TV if the Indians hit another home run tonight.
The former manager of the Indians. I thought he lived somewhere down south in Kentucky or Tennessee. I didn't know he stayed in Parma.
Oh, yeah, he couldn't get away. You know what, Rick? I think he just summers in Parma.
Oh, okay.
He comes up for the baseball
for
season.
baseball
Yeah.
season, Johnny Mack. Yes, indeed. Well, that means now that Linda won that TV, she's going to have to sit and watch every game on STO the rest of the year.
Something tells me she probably watches a lot. If she's entered into the contest.
Absolutely. You're right. We're just going to give her a nice big screen to watch it.
Chu bounces it over into the White Sox dugout. Indians up 3-1. 2 down. Bases cleared here in the 5th. Just did get a piece. Mark Burley, 77 pitches on the night. 50 of those have been for strikes. And wouldn't you figure it, he's walked 2. One of those came around to score. First run of the game for the Indians. Just missed inside. Full count.
Well, the difference between this game and the very first game when he shut out the Indians is now he's just missing, where everything he was throwing, he was hitting everything.
Like he was throwing
Game
darts
of inches,
on
yeah.
opening
I
day.
mean, it's a game of inches, and right now his inch is off the plate.
Now, Johnny Peralta, 0 for 1, but it was Peralta who walked and wound up coming around to score on the 2-out RBI hit by Austin Kearns in the 4th inning. Another toss over. Chu, as I mentioned earlier, does have 3 steals. Looking for that outside edge, but can't find it.
Yeah, Burley tonight with the 3 walks has already walked as many tonight as he has in his first 2 games.
But you know what's interesting about that is, I mean, 80 pitches, 50 strikes. It's not like he's...
Well, he never, when he misses, he just, he's never really off. That's just the type of pitcher he is. He's always been that way. And you know what? I've always loved his attitude where you know what? I'm going to go out there, I'm going to throw strikes or try to, or just miss, and either you're going to get me or I'm going to get you. And his attitude doesn't change. I remember one time we were having arguments with the umpires and this and that, and they were yelling, and Burley was pitching in the game, and he was in the dugout just laughing. He was careless.
The 1-1. Popped him up. Foul ground, Konerko. Inning over. 5 complete. Cleveland 3, Chicago 1. Mitch Talbot has retired 12 White Sox hitters in a row. He'll go to work here on Alexei Ramirez, then Mark Tien and Juan Pierre. Ramirez flied to left his first time up.
Talbot much better control tonight than in his first game where he had 5 walks and 1 strikeout.
Diving stop by Cabrera, but no play, and Ramirez has an infield single. Well, this game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Paul Konerko's 4th home run of the year, a solo shot in the second, put the White Sox ahead 1-0. Austin Kearns, a 2-out RBI single, tied it, and Luis Valbuena, 1 batter later, sent it over the fence for a 2-run shot to make it 3-1 Indians. Mark Tien, the batter now, 0 for 1, grounded out to short his first time up. And I guess that's been the really impressive thing about Talbot tonight. 9 ground ball outs. He's really had them beating it into the turf all night long.
Well, and the one impressive thing, he's given up 4 hits, but 3 of those hits have led to innings off.
There's a ball slugged into right field. And back come the White Sox. It gets through Chu. Oh, boy. Here comes Ramirez. He's going to come around third, and he's going to score. A rare misplay by Shin-Soo Choo. And the White Sox come back to make it a 1-run game now. And not only that, but you lose the double play possibility as well.
Yeah, you let the tying run get into scoring position. There's a mistake there. Up that Tien pulls. All right, no big deal. So you got first and second, but overruns the ball. It gets under his glove, and Ramirez can go all the way. You see, he was going to stop at second base. Now he just says, well, why not keep going? I'm going to go around to score. He makes it a 3-2 ball game. So it's a base hit and an error on Chu.
Juan Pierre 1 for 2 had an infield hit in the first, and Chu can't believe it.
Well, I know it's one of those things. It's you overrun it, it gets by you, and you can't believe it. But you have to get over it. Now the White Sox with a golden opportunity to move that runner and possibly tie this game.
I mean, if you're a shortstop or a second baseman and one gets through the wickets, there's always somebody back there behind you. As an outfielder, is that the worst feeling there is?
Yeah, you're the last line of defense. And the next thing, if that ball gets by you, you can't hide out there.
Feel your heart rate
you
pick
may
up
want
a little bit.
to. Now you want to dig up some of that turf and crawl underneath, but there's not too many people here to hoot on you tonight.
Pierre bunts it out in front of the plate. Called a fair ball. Marston's going to throw him out. That ball looked like it almost rolled back into foul ground. But
I know it did.
He grabbed it. Apparently, it was still on the chalk. And so that's out number 1 as Tien goes to third.
Well, you're right. From our angle, it looked like it was starting to roll foul, but it looked like it's right on the line.
Yep.
It still had some chalk on it, so that's a fair ball. So it'll be a sacrifice 2-3. So they were able to get the runner over to third base, and now you're going to have to bring that infield in and try and cut off that run, so the error certainly did hurt.
So the infield drawn in, the pitch to Gordon Beckham down low. This is a guy who normally hits the ball pretty hard, too, so those infielders
yes, it is.
will be on their toes.
Well, the only thing, when you bring the infield in, you just hope it's at him. It's right at somebody. That's all you can do. I mean, if it finds a hole, it finds a hole. He normally tries to hit the ball up the middle the other way. He stays on the ball, and tries to inside out it. So he's a tough guy to strike out in this situation. And that's what you hope for. Hit one at my infielders or pop it up.
Good pitch. Comes back to get ahead in the count now. A ball and 2 strikes. Now it's an opportunity for Mitch Talbot to maybe try and pick up Shin-Soo Choo. If he can get out of this mess. The 1-2 pitch. Popped him up. Will it stay in play? Marston running out of real estate. He couldn't get over the railing to make a play on it.
Lou's going to have a few more of those opportunities where he almost sort of drifted over with it. And that's not an easy play. See how he's drifting over? He's going to learn to have to really sprint to get over there. Now, for catchers, it's a lot tougher because they've got to pick up the ball first and take off the mask and find it. They're not like outfielders and run to the spot. But he's going to have to learn how to do that in this ballpark.
The 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Peralta
going
to hold the runner.
At him.
And he got him 2 down.
Now a chance to get out of it.
Boy, Rick, I was thinking back on that play where Marston went back to the screen. Remember when Sandy Alomar nearly flipped over the entire screen behind home
sure
plate?
do. It was right over here on the Indian side. I certainly do.
And Ron Kuntz, a longtime outstanding plain dealer photographer, got a great picture of it. Looked like Sandy was impaled on the top of that screen.
He went up and over and made one of the better catches. I do remember that catch very well.
Now here's Carlos Quinton, 0 for 2. And now Mitch Talbot trying to pick his defense up here and get out of this mess. Quinton pops it up. Marson's got another chance. Back to the screen, and again he's out of room.
I didn't think he'd get another chance this inning to sprint back there and work on it, though.
Well, the other thing that it's hard to gauge, and really hard to gauge from up here, is with the strong winds blowing in, you don't know what kind of an effect it's having on the ball behind home plate.
No, you don't.
It may have looked to him like it was going to be right there, and the next thing you know, it's pushing it away from him.
Normally it comes back into the field of play, but with this wind, you're right. It may have an effect on it.
Here's the line now. Talbot's 0-1. Bounce to third again. Peralta sets. Got him.
Good for him. He picked up his D.
Great job by Mitch Talbot. The error by Chu does allow the Sox to get a run, but the Indians still lead it 3-2. Three-two, Indians on top. Bottom of the sixth inning here at Progressive Field. Travis Hafner, Matt Laporta, Austin Kearns to face Mark Burley. Travis Hafner normally batting cleanup for the Indians, but with Burley on the hill tonight, Manny acted, dropping Hafner to the 5 spot, inserting Peralta into the cleanup hole. And a lot of folks have been weighing in on our Facebook page about that decision tonight. And you can follow us this year on Facebook. Log on to facebook.com/STOMatt. Give us your thoughts. Rick, I know you've talked in the past, when you were on teams, maybe different situation, but, you had teams that were struggling where a manager would literally pick names out of a hat to see who was going to bat in certain spots.
You really had to be struggling.
But how important in your mind, as a hitter and as an offense, how important is the cleanup guy in a lineup?
On a day-in and day-out basis, normally your guy will be there most of the time. But when your team is struggling and everybody seems to be struggling, you're not afraid to shake it up and try somebody else there or split up a couple guys or, it's not forever. It's just going to be until you can get going or just get out of the funk that you're in as a team. Sometimes you just you get stagnant as an offense.
Who was the guy you remember? Was it Andre Thornton most of the time batting in that 4-hole?
Well, yeah, I would think Andre. Later, in the 70s, later in the 70s or into the 80s for sure. But when the first couple of years came up, it was Boog Powell.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He was hitting in that number 4 hole. Or Rico Carty.
Rico Carty, I was going to ask where would he have hit.
Yep. He could have hit number 4 hole. Already 4 walks tonight for Mark Burley.
88 pitches on the night for the White Sox southpaw. Matt Laporta, 0 for 2, will step in. Well, I think it will be interesting, and I'm sure it's something Manny Act is looking for, and that is maybe an alternative cleanup hitter when you have a left-hander on the mound.
Well, when you're left-handed dominant like the Indians are now, you know, more times than not, you'll see if a lineup's going to be dominant, it's going to be from the right side.
Yeah.
You know, they need the right-handed bats, and when you can't break up, you know, they can go to the bullpen, and most teams usually do have a couple of left-hander specialists. If you're going to face a starter, then they can bring in a couple left-handers. They don't have to change them until you get through the left-handers if they're not split up.
I suppose another potential option, depending on how much he wanted to tinker with it, is you could put a right-handed hitter in the 3 spot, leave Hafner 4th, and bat Shue 5th.
Sure.
You could
do. Yes, you could.
Laporta pops it up. Carlos Quinton, the right fielder. 1 down for Austin Kearns before he steps in. Let's send you back to the studios for this in-game update. Here's Al.
Matt Rick, CC Sabathia pitching tonight for the Yankees. It was a 1-1 game with the Rangers in New York in the 4th. Bases loaded. Grounder to Davis for the Rangers, and whoops, throws it away. That led to 2 runs. The Yankees would score 3 in the bottom of the 4th. They lead it now 4-1 over Texas. Top of the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium. Back to you.
Well, they caught the error bug here in Cleveland, and they haven't shook it.
Well, and I'll tell you what, when errors can come back to haunt you. The Indians gave a run back in that inning because of an error, and you know they do. You give good teams an extra out, and it seems to come back and haunt you. It doesn't matter who you are. Indians took advantage of it though yesterday, and that's what you have to do. I mean, it looked like they were on their way to their 2nd straight shutout until one swing of the bat. Harrison made 1 bad pitch, gave up 3 runs. And David Huff made 1 bad pitch, gave up 2 runs, and that was the difference in the game.
Might have to check the pine tar tonight. 2nd time we've seen an Indians hitter swing and miss and lose the bat. Nobody launched him quite like Kelly Shopick, though.
No,
he was with
the helicopter, the chopper.
The 1-2. Kearns fouls it away.
He could launch him, deep into the seats.
He had at least 100 feet on some of those throws.
He was one of the better, bat launchers in a long time. The all-time best that I've ever seen was Cliff Johnson.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
On purpose or accidental?
No, he had a bad thumb or a bad hand one year, and he was playing here in the late 70s or whatever. And I mean to tell you, one day, it went out and it cleared the grass in the left center field past where the ump's standing at third base a couple of times on a check swing. That's how far. He sent some in fair territory. Now, you don't see that too often. You see it go foul or into the dugouts or into the stands.
He was, primarily a DH?
Yeah, coming over. Well, yeah, his original position was catching. But he was a big old donkey catching, boy, sitting up there at target. Yeah, but he was a DH for the most part.
The chest protector probably looked like a bib.
Yeah, postage stamp on his chest.
The 1-2. Kearns lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the set by Burley and the 2-2. And a weak tapper. This is going to be a tough play. Burley goes to a knee and loses his footing. And Austin Kearns will take that for an infield single. Burley is a tremendous fielding pitcher, but Rick, it looked like maybe his knee just kind of checked up on the turf.
Well, he wouldn't have gotten him anyway, even if he slides and pops up. He did win the Gold Glove last year. But there's Luis Valbuena back in the 4th inning where the damage was done with 2 outs. 2-run homer to add on after the Indians had just gotten on the board.
Our Great Clips home run counter, 7 dingers on the year, $350 donated. Great Clips donating $50 to the Gathering Place for every Tribe homer. Great needs, great deeds. Great Clips. Luis Valbuena trying to do some more damage here. Looks at a ball down low. The 1-0 pitch caught the outside corner.
Well, Kearns in his first at-bat grounded out. He hit a little too hard with the swing and bump. But this one, he took a little something off. And you see he did. He checked up. He was trying for a pop-up slide, and his knee got caught in the turf. But I don't think he would have got him anyway.
Well, Bueno rolls it right to the bag. 2 down. Runners to second and third. And Lou Marson will be the batter.
Boy, that's where as a hitter you're saying, please go foul. You're watching it down the line. You're chasing it to the bag. Stayed right there. Easy play for Konerko to grab it, step on the base. Well, the Indians have scored all 3 runs with 2 outs. They got an opportunity here. Don Cooper will go out and talk to Mark Burley. Well, it'll be Faith and Family Day at Progressive Field when the Indians take on the Tigers Saturday, May 8th. That's the day before Mother's Day. There'll be a special post-game concert featuring the Newsboys presented by a live festival. Great lower box seats still available in groups of 25 or more. Save 50%. 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com.
Well, let's see if Lou Marson can help increase the Tribe advantage. Burley fires a first pitch strike inside corner. Marson singled his first time up, grounded to short back in the 4th inning. High and tight for ball 1, evens the count. Missed inside again, and as you pointed out earlier, in Chicago on opening day, he was nailing everything.
Right.
Tonight, he's just missing by a little bit.
You know, you have games like that. You're not going to pitch as good as he pitched on opening day. I told you before.
Oh, it kicks off the glove of Tian, and the Indians are going to get 2 runs out of it. Lou Marson with a hard bouncer to third and handcuffed Tian, and both Hafner and Kearns will score. 5-2 Cleveland.
They'll turn about as fair play, I guess, but the Indians end up scoring 2 on the error here by Tian. And it comes second straight day. The Indians are going to take advantage of some shoddy defense. When you back up as a third baseman, it makes that play that much tougher. I don't know if it had a little more spin to it or not. He couldn't glove it cleanly. But with 2 outs, you have to make the play. It gets into left field. It'll be a 2-run error, and the Indians take a 5-2 lead.
And as Drupal Cabrera looks at a ball up high, he's 1 out of 3 tonight. And now as Drupal launches one down the left field line, it's a fair ball headed for the corner. Burning into third is Lou Marson. He's going to be waved around. Ramirez, relay to the plate, cut off. It's a 2-out RBI double for Drupal Cabrera. And it's a 3-run 6th inning for Cleveland. They now lead it 6-2. Boy, there's a great job by Cabrera and also by Marson, who was hustling to take advantage of maybe the White Sox hanging their head a little bit after that misfortune on the 2-run error.
Looked like a high changeup, really. Mislocation by Burley, and Pierre, I told you they're going to run on this guy's arm. You've got a catcher scoring from first base on a ball hit down the left field line. Normally should not happen. But Marson hustling with 2 outs, able to get around there, score the 3rd run in the inning. And Mark Burley is not the same guy tonight as he was on opening day.
Grady Sizemore looks at a strike on the outside corner.
You know, in his career, he has lost 14 times to the Tribe. It's the most career losses against any Central team, and also the fewest wins. He has 12.
There's a fly ball left field. Pierre will make the catch, and the inning is over. But the Indians come roaring back with a 3 spot here in the 6th, and it's now 6-2 Cleveland.
Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by AT&T. See what's new from AT&T. Visit att.com for details. By GMC, the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real, Wendy's.
Mitch Talbot will pitch into the 7th inning tonight. He's only made 65 pitches, whereas Mark Burley has made 109.
Well, you talk about complete flip-flops of both guys in their starts. The last time we saw Burley, he was totally in control. Talbot was, he was wild. He is not tonight. He's been on target.
Talbot fires it over the inside corner, and it evens the count at 1-1.
That was the success the starters had against Texas when they were out there. When they were ahead in the count against the Texas Rangers, they were very successful and able to put them away. He fell behind. He gave up the home run to Konerko early, 2-1 count. Pitch that he left up, probably a changeup. Last inning was an error, but he worked out and picked up his defense as well on 3 ground balls.
Yeah, that was a tremendous job by
Yeah,
Talbot.
it was. He picked up his defense. So you give the guy credit. 12 ground ball outs, 4 fly balls, and 1 punch out. And that's the key. Get outs on 3 pitches or less. What's his high pitch count inning, Tommy?
13 last inning. 15 back in the second. A little soft liner to right. This scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, it's Wendy's. So the White Sox get their leadoff man aboard for the 2nd inning in a row.
Check out the location. A high break. He's made 2 mistakes, and Konerko's hit both of them. One for a home run, this one for a single. This is the breaking ball, and it just backs up, and it stayed middle of the plate. And Konerko, good hitters make you pay on bad pitches.
Now Mark Kotze 0 for 2. He has popped up and struck out. And Talbot misses up high, ball 1. He's just crossed the 70 pitch mark tonight. Double play ball to second. Valbuena to Cabrera. On to Laporta. It's a 4-6-3 twin killer. 2 down.
Second double play of the night.
No fans, don't forget, Scott's Turf Builder delivers a lush lawn from the roots right on up. Hurry in to get your free Scott's Major League Baseball fan guide exclusively at Lowe's. Here's Alex Rios 0 for 2. Looks at a ball outside, 1-0.
Remember we gave you the stat yesterday about David Huff. Today, Talbot, 3 pitches or less to 15 batters here in this ball game. That absolutely keeps that pitch count down. You can't tell a pitcher enough. And it's not that easy to do. But if you're around the plate, you're going to get guys swing the bat. Sometimes they foul them off and they make you battle. But tonight they put them in play. They put them in play on the ground, and the defense has made the plays.
Well, going back to Bob Feller, who was with us earlier, I remember him telling me, when he was in a game and he knew he had to try and go deep, try to go for the complete game, he said, when I got to the bottom of the order, I wanted those guys to swing
3 or less.
in 3 pitches or less. Just put the ball in play. I knew they couldn't hit me, and I want my defense to get it done.
Right.
That way, he said, I could conserve pitches and energy for when I had to face those tough guys, the Ted Williams, the Joe DiMaggios, where I knew it was going to have to take everything I had to get them.
Yeah, for the 4th time through, absolutely.
3-1 pitch, fouled away.
It's a good thought process, but it doesn't always work out that way. You can see that's better 2-1, strikes the balls, but the pitch count, and you're in the 7th inning with 2 outs. He has induced 2 double plays.
Rios pops it back over the screen. Payoff pitch. Popped him up. Laporta into foul ground. Boy, look how far he moved on that ball. Looked like he was under it near the line. Carried all the way near the railing. But the inning is over. Stretch time in Cleveland's 6-2 Tribe. Well, don't forget to start your spring off by enjoying a refreshing beverage and the delicious overstuffed sandwich at any Panini's location. The Chagrin Falls Paninis will be opening soon, and you can log on to paninisgrill.com and get a list of all their locations. Well, Matt Thornton coming on now to pitch for Chicago.
And so far, this is our fourth game with him. He's been in every game.
I was going to say, we've seen enough of him already.
I figured he pitched, the White Sox, this is their 11th game. I figured this will be his 11th appearance. But, he pitched in the first 4 games, and then he's only pitched 1 since then. And I think it was Monday in Toronto. But he's back on again. The Indians are here, so this big man needs some work, and he is definitely a strikeout pitcher and a premier lefty. He can get it up there, mid-90s.
Indians got a key run off Thornton in the 8th inning in Chicago that forced that game to extra innings and allowed the Tribe to come back and win it.
Got that leadoff single. Went off the glove of Konerko to start that inning, and they ended up getting him home. It was a Johnny Peralta double in right center field.
Chu, a swing and a miss.
They got 97. It just jumps and gets on you, man. He's another one of those guys that, he's a big guy, and he comes, and it doesn't look like it's that hard. The next thing you know, it's straight, it's by you.
Fouled away. Chu hammers it towards center. Rios slipped, and he can't recover. But he does keep the ball in front of him. And I'll tell you, even though the Indians have a 4-run lead, that was an important play by Rios, because if he doesn't, the fact that he's on the ground, if it gets by him, Chu's still running.
He would have caught the ball if he stayed on his feet. Chu hit the ball on the nose, did a nice job with 2 strikes. When Rios slips, he does a great job to recover just to knock this ball down. See, he has to get back up, and it's a short hop, but he's able to catch it, and you're right. That's a big deal. Keep that runner at first base. Good recovery by Alex Rios. But Chu will get his first hit of the night. He's been on 3 out of the 4 times. What's new?
Johnny Peralta smacks it to third. Oh, what a backhanded pick. They get 1 and 2. Nicely turned by Tian and Beckham. Johnny Peralta's struggles at the plate continue. 0 for 3 tonight. 2 down for Travis Hafner. Hey, stay tuned after the game tonight. Chuck Galletti will be in with Chuck's Last Call. He'll take your calls and emails following the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. It's Chuck's Last Call tonight after the game only on STO. Also, a quick reminder to Tribe fans who are also coming down tomorrow to watch the Cavaliers playoff game. After the Cavs playoff game, you roll right on over here, show your Cavs ticket, and you can get into the ball game here for just $5. Now, the Cavs game starts at 3. Tribe game starts at 4. So by the time the Cavs game is over, there'll still be plenty of baseball left here at Progressive Field. So if you want to check it out for $5, you show your Cavs playoff ticket, and you're in the house. 1-1 pitch. Up high. It's a Chicago doubleheader, Rick. Cavs Bulls tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Indians White Sox.
Game 1.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. And usually the NBA playoffs, they go into June, don't they?
They do indeed. I remember a couple of years ago when the Cavs were in the NBA championship, we were playing the Marlins in Florida during interleague play, and I remember watching one of the games against San Antonio in my hotel room. We stayed at that great hotel down there in Miami.
Oh, yeah. One that was right there on the beach.
On the beach, yeah. Hafner tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Innings over. We go to the 8th. 6-2 Cleveland.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(6-2) Indians on top. Terminal Tower aglow tonight as the Indians look to win the opener in this 3-game series against the White Sox. A.J. Pierzynski looks at a ball outside. They've got to get through the final 2 innings, though, leading by 4. This will be pitch number 80 for Mitch Talbot. And you just can't say enough about how well the Indians' starting pitching has been this year, as Valbuena grabs that for out number 1. I know it's 10 games in, but the supposed weak link on this team has been its strength so far.
Well, the funny thing is it would even look better if they could have scored some runs for them, and given them a little support. I mean, they've had to battle and pitch from behind and in very close ball games, much as the White Sox have had to do because their offense hasn't been very good either. So, you hang in there and you continue to try and do as much as you can do. But you're right. The starters, I think, have been very good. This is a great second start for Talbot. Anytime you can take your team deep. He's into the 8th inning now with 1 out. And doing it with just 81 pitches.
Swung on and missed. A little bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Alexi Ramirez, who singled and scored an unearned run in the 6th. Struck him out looking. Only the 2nd strikeout for Talbot tonight. But as Rick said earlier, that's a big reason why he's deep in this game, because he's gotten him to put the ball in play early in counts.
And I'd rather see him pitch like that. He just locks out Ramirez here with a fastball in. See, not trying to be too perfect. Lou Marson, he's sitting in the middle of the plate. He's sitting there, and that ball had a little sink or a run back inside. That was a good pitch. That was a perfect pitch for Talbot. Gets his 2nd strikeout and 2nd out in the 8th.
Mark Teahan 1 out of 2 tonight.
Changeup. He's feeling it, man. I'll tell you what, he's feeling it tonight. He's got control, the changeup. He's made a couple of mistakes, and it seems like both of them have been to Konerko, and he hit a home run and a single.
Teahan pops it up. Peralta backpedaling. And he'll take it. 1, 2, 3 go the White Sox. Mitch Talbot pitching a gem here at Progressive Field tonight. All right, we're back here at Progressive Field, and we're seeing Bobby Jenks come on now to work the bottom of the 8th for the Tribe.
Time to keep that bullpen sharp is what Ozzie Guillen has to do.
This is only the 5th game he's been in.
I know it. I mean, they've got to try and keep him sharp. So you see Matt Thornton, their setup guy. You see their closer in a 6-2 game. And, you know, it's time to keep these guys sharp.
Well, I still think that's one of the biggest challenges for managers and pitching coaches. Keep those guys getting, you know, enough work, because
keep them sharp.
You run that fine line between overusing them and then not using them enough.
Right. Yeah, when they have to come in after not pitching for 4 or 5 days, they have to come in sharp in game situation without blowing a save. So, yeah, it is a fine line.
Laporta hammers it to right field. That's going to drop for a hit. And Matt Laporta is 1 for 4 tonight.
Well, if you're looking for a unique and fun location for that special occasion, why not book a suite right here at Progressive Field? Suite hosts groups from 10 to 60 and offer a great view of the game along with premium food, beverage menus, and a climate-controlled setting. Call 216-420-HITS for full details.
Austin Kearns looks at a ball down low. In there for a strike. Austin Kearns, 2 hits on the night, 2 runs scored, plus a run batted in. And already, Rick, 10 games into the season, Austin Kearns has seen action in a number of different spots in the lineup. Hits into the double play here. Barrel of the bat went shattering past the mound. Monday night at 8, STO kicks off coverage of the NFL Draft with Browns Red Zone. Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, and Tony Grossi take your calls and emails to discuss the plethora of Browns picks in next Thursday's draft. It's a virtual cornucopia of picks. Browns Red Zone, Monday night at 8, only on STO.
Okie dokie.
Well, Jimmy and Doug will be busy, along with Tony, keeping track of all of the activity. But you never know. The interesting thing about the NFL draft is sometimes you get those unexpected trades that pop up. The Browns have certainly been involved in those over the years as well.
Okay, Mr. NFL.
Hey, it's in prime time this year,
yes,
too.
I
draft.
know.
Yeah.
I know. We'll have that opportunity. When is it, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday.
We'll be able to check it out on DirecTV on the plane.
That's right. Let's
we're
hope.
Flying out west.
Let's
we
hope.
will.
Hope they don't send us a little puddle jumper.
No. We're going west, young man. We're going west. Michael wouldn't do that to us. Seg would take care of us. Smith and Lewis up for the Indians.
Jenks with a 1-2. Struck him out looking, and the inning is over. So we'll go to the 9th here in Cleveland. It's 6-2 Tribe. (6-2) Indians lead it. 9th inning here at Progressive Field, and for the second consecutive day, an Indians starter will go for a complete game victory. Juan Pierre leading it off, takes a called strike.
Boy, you like to see it. The only difference in yesterday's with David Huff and today's is the bullpen's getting loose. The bullpen didn't even get up until someone did make an appearance, didn't they, after they got a man on yesterday? And maybe
Chris Perez got up.
Yeah,
Chris
that's
Perez
right.
got
Chris
up.
was up. That's right.
It was a one-run game, so understandable.
Well, the way this guy's moving the ball in and out, they may just be getting their work in anyway because he's been very, very good tonight.
Stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show immediately after the game here tonight. Pierre taps it off the glove again of Talbot. This time Valbuena throws and gets him. Back in the first inning, right. Pierre tipped one off the glove of Talbot, and he got a base hit.
Yes, he did.
Not this time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had an outstanding changeup there, and he and Lou Marson have been on the same page. He's had a nice tempo working. And you're right, the game started, but this one he didn't slow down as much.
More like a redirect.
Yes, this one redirected right to Valbuena where he was able to get Pierre right at first base. So they get the leadoff man. 15 ground ball outs for Talbot.
Beckham takes a strike. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Twice he has grounded out to third baseman Johnny Peralta. Leans back. 1-1 to count. Bouncer to third again. And again, Peralta throws out Beckham. 2 down. Mitch Talbot has 4 complete games in his minor league career. This is only his 5th major league game and only his 3rd major league start.
Right. But you know what? The last 2 days, you're not going to see better back-to-back pitch games by the starters and a chance to have 2 CGs.
Over the outside corner. Nope, just missed. Ball 1 to Carlos Quinton, 0 for 3 tonight. Pounds the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. 10,421 the announced attendance here tonight at Progressive Field. May not be many of them, but they're all on their feet. Last time Indians pitchers back-to-back complete games, 1996. Charlie Nagy, now the Indians pitching coach at AAA Columbus, and Chad Oj did the feat.
Yeah, that's amazing. 14 years ago.
David Huff did it yesterday. Mitch Talbot trying to follow that act here tonight.
Well, we could see. We might be able to see another shaving cream face.
Let's hope it's whipped cream.
Yeah, yesterday was shaving cream.
Jensen said, I couldn't find any whipped cream. We didn't have any handy, so I got whatever we had.
He said he wanted his eyes to burn. He said when you pitch that good, you deserve to cry.
The 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera. Low throw, dug out by Laporta. Back-to-back complete game victories for Indians starting pitchers. Mitch Talbot, following David Huff's lead, gets his first complete game victory in the big leagues. And the Indians win for the second day in a row. Final score tonight, 6-2 Tribe. Indians are now 4-6 on the year. White Sox fall to 4-7. With the win, Mitch Talbot is 1-1 on the year. Mark Burley, the loser tonight, his first blemish of the year. He is now 2-1. Let's have a look now at our player of the game.
I don't think we have to look very far. Player of the game, Mitch Talbot. 9 innings, complete game, only his 3rd start. The major leagues gave up 6 hits, 1 earned run, couple of strikeouts. And I mean, you talk about 17 ground ball outs in that ball game. He was in total command today. Congratulations, Mitch Talbot, player of the game.
2 hours and 4 minutes was the game time tonight. Yesterday's game was 2 hours and 3 minutes.
I don't believe it. We got to go back to the clock, huh?
6-2, our final score here tonight. And let's take a look at our KeyBank play of the game.
Well, you come back into the 6th inning. And it was a big one, 2 outs. And there's Marson going to hit that ball teeing off his glove as he started to break back. 2 runs will come in to score. That increased the lead. And I'll tell you what, second straight day where an error really hurt the team the Indians were playing. And they go around to win 6-2. That's our key play of the game.
KeyBank, of course, banking home of your Cleveland Indians. 97 pitches is all it took for Mitch Talbot to complete this game win here tonight over the White Sox. And we're coming back with the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show next.